Everyone, welcome to Anu's classroom. In this video we are continuing with MMPC 30. So I thought we will talk today about intellectual property and data management. So this is actually block 5. There are 6 blocks in MMPC 30 and I think this is the course with the maximum number of blocks in it. Not units. Units are roughly the same, around 15, 30, around the same range, 13 to 15 range only, but the number of blocks are more. And so what happens is that in the question paper pattern, see, we have 8 questions and out of which 5 questions are mandatory. So all the other subjects, how it is that you are sure that mostly it is of 4 blocks each, so you will get at least 2 questions per block. This is not like that in MMPC 13. Some blocks have 2 questions from them, but sometimes it will only have one question. So guaranteed you will get definitely one question from one block. Like each block will have one question. Sometimes if you get lucky, the block which you have prepared for, you will get 2 questions. So it is like that. In this block also, there have been question papers, term and examination papers, where there have been 2 questions asked. Sometimes there have been cases where only one question was asked from this module. I would say compared to the earlier modules, like or blocks I should say, like partnership, company act, contracts and all, this is a relatively easy block to learn and grasp, because most of the concepts are what we know, which we are surrounded with every day in the news. We get data about it. See, data management, privacy, right to privacy, trade secrets, copyrights, trademarks. These are the kind of things that are discussed in this. So it is a, what you can say, much more relatable to everyday common man. Okay, the concepts in this block. So I hope that this block will be easy for you to grasp. Let's get started. First and foremost, what do you understand by intellectual property? Okay, it is a very often used term. When almost, I guess, all major films, if they get released, or any major controversy, especially in the entertainment industry, if it is there, you will be sure to hear this term, right? Intellectual property, copyright violation, he stole my song, or the other company stole my design, all these things. So they all come under intellectual property rights. So what is it? Intellectual property refers to creations of the mind, like intellectual, right, of the mind, like inventions, literary or artistic works like books or paintings, designs, symbols, names, images, all those things, as used commercially. This is the definition of intellectual property as per the World Intellectual Property Organization. Now, this is not an all-encompassing definition, nor is there a universally accepted definition for intellectual property rights, but this is the, what you can say, this encompasses almost a good amount of what we call as intellectual property. Okay, so the Coca-Cola logo, or even the Coca-Cola's recipe, Winnie the Pooh, Facebook's logo, Apple's design, KFC's recipe, think what not, right? All these come under intellectual property. Now, a few of the ways in which we can protect intellectual property are, say, through patents, copyrights, trademark protection, trade secret protection. Then if it is for integrated circuits, electronics people, if you are from electronics background, you might know, right? Or you might have come across this term in physics in school days also, right? Those are those integrated circuits. Those are those green colored boards with the pretty silver lines, silver, copper, gold lines running on them. You might have seen, right, inside the PC, inside your laptop or TV and all. You might have come across them. If not, at least if you have a nephew at home, okay, break one of his or her cars, you will find an IC there. Okay, so that is integrated circuit. So those designs can be protected. Okay, so, or geographical indicators like tea from Darjeeling or Kanchipuram silk, Chanderi saris, Pochampilli, such things. Okay, geographically, so those things are created in that particular region, you can protect those. So all those things are there. We'll get to them one by one. So first we'll see patents. So what is a patent? Patent is a limited term monopoly which is granted for invention in return for the disclosure of that invention to public. Like suppose I have invented something, so I'll take a patent for it and I will give it to the public domain for use. Credit card system, those are patents. So every time you swipe a card, right, you swipe a card anywhere, a debit card, credit card, whatever it is, that payment system, the person who holds the patent for it will get, I guess, a very small portion only, maybe in, like, 0.01 paise, something like that, very small amount, but think about the number of transactions that get done in a region in a day, and multiply that huge number with that small thing. Still, it makes up for millions or trillions of amount of rupee, and that too all over the world, right? So that guy, just with one patent, his life is set, right? So that is patents. So for getting a patent, okay, you have to file an application, and in that application you must mention what is the novelty, okay, what makes this invention a novel invention, something that is unique by itself. What is the inventive step that you have undertaken, and what will be the commercial application, okay, for this particular invention. So with all those things, you file the application, and after a very rigorous process, you get the patent granted. So once you have the patent, that patent will bring you money, because that you can you can allow others to access that technology which you have mentioned in your patent, and for using that technology they'll have to pay you royalty, right? So that is patents. So almost all the major things that you see around us, right, starting from say the telephone, the computers, the iPhone, motorized exoskeleton, that is this if people lose legs and all those, or arms and all, you might have seen, right, that motorized arms we create for them to, and we attach it, right? So that is the motorized exoskeleton that have patents. Magnetic levitation, the magnetic trains, the trains, especially the Japanese trains, right, they can run that in with that much speed because of this magnetic levitation that has been applied. So all those things have patents behind them, and that is how they get run. So these patents also, they get terminated after a certain duration depending upon the type of invention that you are patenting for, right? So after that it goes into the public domain. Coming to copyright, so this is again another important term. You might have seen that small c inside a circle, right, indicating that that particular thing is a copyright. And if you are not if you're not mentioning them, then you are going for a copyright infringement, right? So copyright also protects creative and artistic works. So unlike patents, which are more focused on that industrial commercial application, copyright you can take for books, movies, music, painting, sculpture, even computer softwares, Microsoft Word, think of any softwares like that, right? Your games, whatever you're playing, even in your phone or in your PC, in your PlayStation, all those things, those are all copyrighted. It can all be protected by copyright. So in India, copyright is governed by the Copyright Act of 1957. And unlike patents, which absolutely require you to file an application to get the patent, copyright, you get it automatically if you create original content that is that falls under or that satisfies all the criteria that is to be copyrighted. So you don't have to apply specifically for a copyright. You will get it automatically if your content is original. But the thing is that the rules in India related to copyright, it is very loose. Okay, it is a very loose law. So and there's no, how do you measure originality? That those kind of aspects are quite vague. Okay, so that is the reason why there are a lot of controversies and things like that come up. The most recent famous one I can remember of is Kantara's controversy, Varaharubam controversy. Okay, so the duration of protection is also longer than that what is offered by patents, but exactly how much duration is books protected or music protected, such things vary. Okay. Next is trademark. So trademark is denoted by that small tm inside a circle, right? So if you find that anywhere, you should understand that that is a trademark. So now when you say mark has to be graphically representable, right? So a mark capable of being represented graphically and which is capable of distinguishing the goods or services of one person or a firm from those of others, okay, including maybe the shape of goods or their packaging, color combination, whatever, okay, is called a trademark. And trademarks are governed by the Trademarks Act of 1999 in India. To obtain trademark protection, what we have to do is, again, we have to file an application for this trademark in a prescribed format before one of the many trademark offices that are present across India. Coming to graphical indicators, if you remember, right, Darjeeling tea, Kashmir Pashmina shawl, Kanjivaram, Chanderi, Ikkad, Pochampally, right, champagne, Parmesan, okay, Parmesan cheese, all those things are protected by geographical indicators. Now, why it is protected by or what is the significance of it is, suppose in Munnar I grow a tea, okay, I have a tea plantation, let's assume, why not? Okay, let's assume I have a tea plantation in Munnar and I grow tea over there. I cannot label and sell it as Darjeeling tea. Why? Because Darjeeling tea means it has to be grown in Darjeeling. Only then you can call it Darjeeling tea. Similarly, any sari, silk sari, whatever it is, weaved outside of Kanchipuram village cannot be marked as Kanchipuram sari. Similarly is the case with Parmesan cheese. Parmesan cheese can only be made or produced in Parmigiano Reggiano region, right? Champagne is also like that. So there are a lot of famous, geographical indicator protected products and services and all those things around us. You can just do a Google search and you will be amazed, right? So that is geographical indicators. So it broadly refers to the signs used on products that have specific geographical origin and the quality. This is the major distinguishing factor or the most important criteria to be met to have a geographical indicator. Okay, the quality or reputation of that product should be attributable to that geographical origin. Okay, so the weavers of Kanjipuram are the ones who make Kanjipuram saris, right? So if I'm not from Kanjipuram, then definitely I cannot make Kanjipuram saris. If I don't cultivate my tea in Darjeeling, then I cannot call my tea Darjeeling tea. So like that. If I make a shawl over here in Kerala, I cannot call it Kashmir Pashmina shawl, because Kashmir Pashmina means it is supposed to originate from Kashmir, right? Artisans from Kashmir should be making that in Kashmir using the materials that make Pashmina, Kashmir Pashmina, right? And that is the reason why you are paying that premium for it also. Otherwise, it is illegal. You are doing fraud. Okay, so again, for obtaining this geographical indicator protection, you have to file an application with the geographical indicator registry. But the thing is, an individual cannot file this application. The application can only be filed by an association of people or persons who represent the interest of the producers of those concerned goods. Then industrial designs, like the home screen button of Apple or the rectangular camera slot of Apple. So these are or Google Pixel's bar, behind there is a bar nowadays, very inconvenient bar. The phone won't sit properly on my table, right? Those kind of things. Design features. If you can recollect any such design features of protected design features of other brands, feel free to comment below so that we can all get enlightened. Okay. So the Designs Act of 2000 is the one that protects the aesthetic or ornamental features of articles in India. And to receive this protection, again we have to file the application, and this registration will center a copyright on the design for the duration of registration, and this registered owner of that design will have the exclusive right to apply that design to the article in the class for which it was registered. Like for example, if it is electronics, then that home button, right, the round home button can only be used by Apple on their phones. It cannot be used by anybody else, right? Notification island, those things are Apple's things. They will all be protected by industrial designs or copyrights. The protection is initially granted for a period of 10 years, and then it can be extended for an additional 5 years. Just once more it can be extended. That is the rule in India. Then for plant varieties also we can have protection. So protection can be for new variants, extant variants, or essentially derived variants. But again over here it is a bit loose, because plant variety protected does not mean that you cannot give those seeds to anybody else and all. Just that you should not label it, but still you can give the seeds, you can give the saplings for planting and growing. All those things are happening. So in India, I would say that these rules are still very loose, just rough outlined things only. Okay. Then as I was saying, layout design on integrated circuits protection. I hope you remember what we talked about in this integrated circuits. If you do not know, or if you are unfamiliar with them, it is a green color, it's a green color thing, a plastic card like thing, which you can find in almost all electronics. If you want to find one, if you have a nephew, definitely they might have some kind of a remote control car. Ask them to open, they'll open and give you. Almost it would be open by now. Just go and check. There will be a green colored a card like thing, a plastic card like thing with a lot of shiny lines running through it. That is the integrated circuits, right? So these layout designs of these integrated circuits can also be protected in India under the Semiconductor Integrated Circuits Layout Designs Act of 2000. Okay, provided that this integrated circuit design is original, it has not been commercially exploited in India or any of the TIPS convention country, it is inherently distinctive and distinguishable from other registered layout designs, right? And the duration of this protection also is again from 10 years from the date of filing of the application or of commercial exploitation in any country, whichever comes earliest. So that is how layout designs are protected in India. Then trade secrets. So trade secrets, we all know, right? Whoever is doing a trade, especially the artsy craftsy or food kind of things, you ask them the recipe, they'll be like, or you ask your mom, what is the secret of your payasam? Like, it's my trade secret, I'm not going to tell you, right? Just kidding, moms will say. So trade secrets. So the most famous trade secret things that come to my mind when we talk about is KFC's recipe, Kentucky Fried Chicken's recipe. It is sealed and saved safe, right? Coca-Cola's recipe, they are not at all in the public domain. You cannot find them anywhere. What spice mix they are using, KFC is using, you will not find that information, that exact information anywhere. As of now, it is protected. Correct. So that is trade secret. They are IP rights over confidential information. And some countries have specific laws for this, but in India, again, it doesn't have a very specific law for it. It is generally what you can say, they protect it through principles of equity and common law remedies for the breach of confidence and things like that. So that's what it is, again a loose law over here, but some countries they have very strict trade secret laws as well to ensure protection. So some of the what you can say, obviously kind of requirements for something to come under trade secret protection is that it should be confidential information. That information should not be readily available to anybody. Like if the person who's applying for that trade secret itself is not taking any what you can say serious measure to protect that information, then definitely it cannot be protected by trade secrets. So that is trade secret. I hope you understood. Then coming to the next section of this block. So far we were talking about intellectual property. The other most important second half of this is privacy, right? Data privacy, data management. So what do you mean by data privacy? Data privacy generally means the ability of a person to determine when, how and to what extent their personal information can be shared or communicated to others. So you can think of your name, your age, your date of birth, your phone number, your email ID, your physical address, okay, even your gender, which school you're studying, your bank account number, your Aadhaar card number, your PAN card number, all those things are your personal information. So you should definitely, it's just what you can say, basic, it feels like basic human rights that our such data about us also has to be protected, and we should have the right to disclose it. Like for example, if I know someone, I have their number also, I should not be, without that person's consent, I cannot just go and distribute that number to everybody and anybody, right? Maybe that person does not want it. So that person should have the right for it, right? So that is data privacy. So it is a very important concept, but the thing is that unknowingly, almost every waking minute of our lives, every second we create tremendous amount of data. Like for example, now itself, there is a lot of data that is being passed on to you, right? Like for example, my gender obviously will be what you can say, known, that from my tone, my from where, which, at least from which state I am or which country I am, which language do I speak, or at least those things are now what you can say, knowledgeable to you, right? Similarly, when we wake up, our phone, we are using our phone to a good amount extent, right? We cannot what you can say, stay away from our phone. So more than what you guys know about me from the Telegram channel or the YouTube channel, my phone would know about me, right? When I wake up, when I sleep, what sites do I what you can say, what sites do I go for, what is even if you're using a fitness app, then definitely what is your heart rate, what is your blood count, like SpO2 levels, how much time are you exercising, where are you exercising, where all are you going, everything and anything, right, is being shared by whom, God knows. Sometimes, like maybe even to China or even terrorist groups. So there are data miners who are mining this data, trying to find out patterns, and knowingly or unknowingly, you are telling a lot about yourself to those data miners without you even realizing. But then think about our apps, think about our what you can say, fitness bands. If we are not ready to share our information with that fitness band, then we will not know how much steps we are walking, right? Or where I am and where I want to go, then what that route is going to be. If I don't say where I am, if I don't share my location, then how will the Google Maps know how to direct you to where you want, right? So that is there, correct? But then that is what I am sharing with you just to get my purpose done. On top of that, if you are using that data, my data, for any other purpose, then I should be aware of, right? But the thing is that data gets, these kind of data, they don't actually, might not be residing in India itself. They might be going outside the country, and the laws, data protection laws, would be totally different over there, and nobody can guarantee our data privacy anymore if data goes outside of India. So it was, I guess, one such concern that PUBG got banned, TikTok got banned, right? It is all because of a fear of data loss. Okay, Indian government per se is responsible for protecting Indian citizens' data and their privacy. So we have the, for this accord, we have this personal data protection bill. It has had 4 drafts actually, and the latest one was in 2022. So in our book, since I guess this syllabus was created in 2019, we are dealing with the personal data protection bill of 2019 as per our textbook. But let me tell you, currently it is standing at data protection bill of 2022. So the PDP bill of 2019, let us talk about that, since our textbook is talking about that. Okay, it was introduced in Lok Sabha on the 11th of December 2019, and it was subsequently forwarded to a Joint Parliamentary Committee, or JPC. It seeks to provide for the protection of the personal data of individuals and establishes a data protection authority for the same. The bill governs the processing of personal data by government, companies incorporated in India, as well as foreign companies that deal with the personal data of individuals in India. So according to this bill, actually, personal data is segregated into sensitive and non-sensitive. Sensitive data is like your accounts, financial statements, and things like that are very sensitive data, or your national identification numbers and all those things are sensitive data. So there are more rules applicable on this processing of sensitive data than on the non-sensitive ones. So if you want to read more about this right to privacy and the framework of this right to privacy and all, and more about this data protection bill, you can scan this QR code. It will lead you to Government of India's website, wherein Central Information Commission has published its report on the right to privacy. Okay, so it was published as part of a right to information by some person. So you can read through it. Almost a similar content is present in the textbook as well, our IGNOU textbook as well. So either you can go through this commission's report, or you can read from our IGNOU textbook. Either way, you will find a good picture, overall picture of this data protection bill of that is there in our country. So that, with that, we conclude block number 5. Again, let me repeat, you can at least expect one question from this particular video asked in your term and examination, at least one, if not 2. Okay, so I hope that you guys can ace your term and examinations for second semester as well. All the very best, and until I see you in the next video, thank you so much. Bye bye.